This is the gorgeous backdrop of San Diego for the Pacific Life Holiday Bowl. We do expect a couple of high-flying offenses here as the Big 12 collides with the Pac-10. Oklahoma State and Oregon, each team comes in averaging 42 points per game. Each team has scored 65 touchdowns. Oregon won the toss, deferred to the second half, and Oklahoma State will get the football to begin this game. Ducks in their all-black unis with the green helmets. Oklahoma State in all white, and Matt Evenson to kick it off for Oregon. Victor Johnson and Parrish Cox, who's a dangerous return man, are back for the Pokes. It's Mike Gundy's offense that'll get a first crack at making a statement, and we expect it's going to be a real high-scoring game. And Parrish Cox puts his knee down, and the Pokes will start at the 20-yard line behind that man, Zac Robinson, the junior quarterback, excellent runner and thrower.
You know what, and he really compliments his coach well, because his coach has been on this field before. He's played here. He's been in this game. So the communication that they have between themselves, Jesse, is really outstanding. I think it's one of the reasons Zac has flourished so well.
Well, and he's flourished, but he's gotten better as the season's gone on. We talked to Mike Gundy this week. He said the best game Zac Robinson played was against Oklahoma in the regular season finale, but you're going to see one of the true dual-threat quarterbacks here tonight in Zac Robinson.
And it's very tough to stop Robinson as a runner and a passer and all the weapons that Oklahoma State has. We'll give you a taste of that as the game unfolds. Marcus Connor in motion. This is Kendall Hunter, the sophomore tailback. He's a very shifty, speedy guy, but Oregon stops him for a loss.
This Oregon defense really believes that they have an edge here because they see a lot of open space play against their own team, and that it's very good at playing in space.
And this is something that's going to be critical all game long. Oregon has to win on first down. That's something Nicolati, their defensive coordinator, wants to do each and every drive. He wants to set Oklahoma State up in long-to-go situations on second down.
Run kind of a fast break offense. They almost never huddle. Come up to the line, and the players will look to the signal board to the sidelines to get the play. This is the first throw, and Des Bryant, dangerous All-American, makes the catch and gets a first down across the 30.
Well, and Oregon also said, if we don't stop Des Bryant, we probably don't win this football game. This is a game, too, of traction tonight. So we'll be watching. You see the little slip right there. All the players on both teams trying to figure out what cleats to wear.
Boy, Jarvis Bird looked like he was on ice trying to backpedal and then come back up and cover Bryant. Those are the signs we talked about. Those symbols mean something, and most of them don't matter, but the players know which box to look at. Robinson to Bryant again on the left side. Gets a block and slips out across the 40. So already 2 catches for the All-American.
And Mike Gundy doing a really good job right now in play calling, getting his big playmaker at wide receiver the football. Des Bryant, first-team All-American, over 1,300 yards receiving this year so far. We're not expecting Oregon at all to single cover him at any point in this football game, but still, Mike Gundy finding ways to get him the ball.
This is Hunter up the middle. Kendall Hunter breaks a tackle and gets into Oregon territory. He's only about 5'7", 5'8", but he's a thick guy. He's from Earl Campbell's hometown of Tyler, Texas.
The Tyler Rose. How many backs have we seen this year in low stature that have the strength, and the tackling is terrible because they're tackling too high and the runners get right beyond them?
The amazing thing to me about Kendall Hunter is how he can make people miss.
Turn it out! On the option, Robinson keeps it and picks up about 8. We're already seeing the taste of the diversity of this attack.
Well, and you see the speed and how they're able to get up to the line of scrimmage and get going right away. It does not take them a lot of time to get set. Oregon has to make sure they get the defensive play call in early, get lined up, find out where Oklahoma State's lined up, get matched up, because you cannot take a second off against this fast tempo offense in Oklahoma State.
Second and 2. They fake it to Hunter and find Bryant for a 3rd time. This time there are more duck defenders than blockers out there, but he does get the first down. Oregon won the toss deferred. The Cowboys took the ball at their 20. Already the All-American receiver Des Bryant has 3 catches. He moved the ball 48 yards in the first 6 plays. This is the tailback Kendall Hunter. Slips a bit, nowhere to run, and he's dropped for a loss. All the experts saying this might be the highest scoring bowl game in all of bowl season, even higher scoring than the Gators and the Sooners. Both defensive coaching brain trust. Just felt like if we can get a stop or two, a turnover maybe, that might be enough to win it.
And right now, so far in this game, Oregon's defense out there trying to prolong a drive, make the offense go 8, 10, 12, because they figure they'll mess up at some point.
But it's been the usual suspects so far for Oklahoma State. We've seen Zac Robinson, Kendall Hunter, Des Bryant all get touches, and they're playing very, very at a high tempo right now.
This is Hunter on the option pitch from Robinson. And he'll be stopped after about a 5-yard gain. No fumble. The Big Ten crew ruling the ball down. So this is the closest that Oregon's come to stopping Zac Robinson, the junior out of Littleton, Colorado, who's very dangerous runner. Legitimate speed, not just a scrambler, but a guy who can take it the distance as a runner.
And one of the true dual threat quarterbacks in all of college football. You see the numbers there. He's thrown for over 2,700 yards. He's run for over 500 yards. They're going to need Zac Robinson to run the football well tonight to have success and to get this win in the Pacific Life Holiday Bowl.
He needs 6 yards here on 3rd down. Oregon has struggled all year as a defense getting people off of the field. Robinson looks left, fires downfield, and overthrows Keith Huston, the running back. And Oregon does what their coaches hope they would do. A stop.
A stop is a stop, and they try to get 8 throughout the course of the football game. You know, this is the deal where you've got a defense out there. You know, when you look at them on defense, they're going to come with 4, but 49% of the time, Oak State says they come with 5. So they bring a linebacker and safety and try to confuse you. That time they drop 7 in coverage.
Dan Bailey, very solid kicker. You can see the stats. He's made 9 in a row. And this from 45 yards. He sneaks it through the left upright. For the Cowboys, take it from their 20 into Oregon territory. The drive stalls, but they get on the board first. 3-0 early in the Pacific Life Holiday Bowl. One of the most desirable destinations in all bowl week. Just a beautiful week of weather out here. Lots of orange and black, lots of yellow and green. Near sellout here in Qualcomm Stadium. Oklahoma State, 10 plays, 52 yards in the opening drive, and a Bailey field goal. He'll now kick off. So Walter Thurman and Jameer Holland. It's Thurman to have a chance. And leaps across the 25-yard line, and that's where the Ducks will take over. Both these offenses averaging 42 points per game. They're all in the top 8 rushing, total yards, and points. Each team has scored 65 touchdowns this season.
Yeah, you think about this. This is an Oregon football team that just last November, we did the game on a Thursday night. They're playing for a chance to play for the national championship. They lose their quarterback. They had to find one for this season, and Massoli stepped up, and he's doing a great job for them.
Jeremiah Massoli, the sophomore out of San Francisco, a junior college transfer, is throwing. It's a lateral on the first play. Pitch back to Massoli. It looks downfield, and it's caught. Jameer Holland makes the catch down inside the 30. So it's Oregon with the first trick play, and we expect maybe a bunch tonight.
We talked to Chip Kelly this week, and he told us that they were going to unload the toolbox for this football game. All types of trickeration. You were going to see everything. Watch right here, Craig.
And you know what? What you usually see out of Oregon is a football team. Jeffrey Mayle, he gets the reverse, pitches it back to Massoli, who throws it deep down the field. Normally, it's the ground game with a big explosion, but they will have a lot of trick plays and different looks.
Now they hand it to Terrence Scott on the sweep, and he picks his way for a short gain. How about that making a statement the very first offensive play? There are lots of impact players on the field, and Ducks have their share as well. We talked about, the running backs. Johnson's a good one.
Yeah, Jeremiah Johnson is a threat to score every time he touches the football. He put his great speed on display against Oregon State. 219 yards in that game.
How about the center, Max Unger? Got to give the big ones up front a little love. I think that's a very underrated offensive line.
And Blunt, a 230-pounder, native of Florida. He's a physical back. We'll see him as well. This is Mayle. He's corralled after a very short gain of the 25. It'll set up 3rd and long.
It's interesting.
More in the stop.
We talked about this great running attack and the spread option offense of Chip Kelly in Oregon. But one thing that's interesting, too, is you're going to see a lot of the receivers carry the football tonight. It's not just Jeremiah Johnson, LeGarrette Blunt, and Jeremiah Mazzoli. We saw in the second play, Terrence Scott on the reverse that helps keep defenses on their heels.
Chip Kelly is the designated next coach following Mike Bellotti within perhaps a couple of years. Massoli is pressured and sacked on 3rd down. Patrick Lamine came in on the blitz.
Linebacker coming, Levine, he's coming from the overside here. You'll see him when he gets in. You just don't account for him. I just praise the offensive line, and dadgummit, Jesse, look what they do. They unaccount for
And
the
it's
guy.
amazing because coming into this game, Oklahoma State had only registered 13 sacks. That was ranked 108th in the country, but right away you see pressure coming from the second level, getting after Jeremiah Massoli, pushing Oregon out of field goal range.
So confusion there. Johnson wasn't sure who to block. There were two guys on the inside, so just Cyree to try to pin Oklahoma State deep. Each defense able to make a big play. Good job. Cyree knocking it dead at the 1. It was Mail down there covering the ball. Folks will take over there. You know, just pulled away late, but 9-3, a chance at a 10-win season, perhaps a top 10 finish. And sophomores are really the stars of this offense.
It's amazing, really. 3 losses in the conference, never to a team no worse than the top 3 in the AP poll.
Robinson has it in the end zone, fires a short completion out across the 10-yard line to Brandon Pettigrew. He's a weapon we haven't talked about yet, but a big 260-pound tight end that the scouts love.
He is really big and he's athletic. He's a really good blocker, but when he comes across the field, like right there, he's the number 2 guy in that route, and he gives that option and that confidence and the cushion for Robinson.
Pettigrew, guys, still looking for his first touchdown catch this season. He's missed 3 games with a high ankle sprain. Been really productive, but would love to get in the end zone tonight. Robinson keeps it. Quarterback trying to get the edge, but a good job flying up by T.J. Ward to stop him for a short gain. The impact players for the Cowboys offense.
Well, we'll start with Kendall Hunter. 9 100-yard games in the Big 12 this year. That was almost twice as many as any other Big 12 running back. Because of that, he's a first-team All-American.
Well, how about we start with Des Bryant? 109 yards a game, receiving 3rd best in the NCAA. He's a beast with the ball.
You've just seen Pettigrew. He had 36 catches this season. Averages 12 a catch. He's the guy that was effective against Oklahoma. This is the pitch to Keith Poston. The backup running back for Oklahoma State shows why he's such a good downhill runner.
Well, that's the problem when you're facing this Oklahoma State offense, because all of a sudden Kendall Hunter comes out of the game, and as a defense, you take a step back and say, oh, okay, we can finally corral this backup, whoever it is. Keith Poston's averaging 7 yards a carry.
Watch on the far left side, number 80, DeMarcus Conner, the receiver. They pinned Oregon's pursuit defense from the inside out. That's teamwork. That's how big plays like that occur.
Had 6 plays and 10-plus yards already in the first quarter of Gundy's offense. Play action, Robinson looking deep over the middle. It's Pettigrew who makes the catch. Big hit immediately by Patrick Chung, the Rover, but a nice game.
Brandon Pettigrew really has come on here late in the season. The beginning of the year in the first 7 games, he only had 11 catches. He had 5 in the next, or 25 in the next 5 games. You just see the big target and the confidence Zac Robinson has delivering him the football.
Well, he knew where the ball was supposed to go to, right? Robinson put the football where the opening was, and Pettigrew kept going to the spot.
Option look. Let's do a good job of stringing it out, and about a 4-yard loss. It was T.J. Ward combining with Casey Matthews, the middle linebacker.
Don't you think, Jesse, that at some point here that when you work the perimeter with the grass conditions like they are and it's slippery on the outside, that you've got to really figure out just how much you can attack the outside?
Absolutely, especially considering the problem with spread offense for opposing defenses is that it sets up skill players with the football in space. For oftentimes there's only one guy that can make the tackle. If he doesn't, they're touchdowns. So you're right, the field conditions make this way tougher for both defenses in this football game.
On 2nd and 13, Robinson fires over the middle, complete. And keeping his feet and reaching the end zone is Des Bryant. He beat Walter Thurman. Only had 1 touchdown this season away from Boone Pickett Stadium until that one right there. Who says he can't play away from home?
I think he adopted San Diego for this trip here this weekend, but there's guarantee here. If you look, you're going to try to find somebody in the middle of the field. There's no way you can leave the middle of the field open against Des Bryant. One-on-one can't work.
Well, and Zac Robinson will take advantage of that every single time, and you see the hand strength from Des Bryant catching it and the great balance to keep his feet, make his way into the end zone.
Bryant already 6 catches for 74 yards. That was a 33-yard touchdown. Bailey tacks on the point. A 99-yard touchdown drive for Oklahoma State. The favorites in this game out of the Big 12 jump to a 10-point first quarter lead. Here at the Pacific Life Holiday Bowl, a fast start for Oklahoma State. Took the opening kickoff, moves to a field goal, got pinned to their 1-yard line, went 99 yards for a touch. And Des Bryant, you just had a feeling from the way he was so pumped up in the warm-up. Came over to visit with us, got scolded by a coach representing the 936. That's a Texas area code.
East Texas area code, Lufkin, Texas. I said, hey, I'm from Alto, Texas, which is a podunk place. He goes, you're kidding.
But you had a feeling he was inspired for this game. He really was ready to go tonight. This is Thurman, who just got beaten for the touchdown, trying to redeem himself with a big play, but he's dropped short of the 25 by Seth Clements on the coverage. This is Jeremiah Johnson, who takes the handoff. Johnson breaking tackles, looking for a big play. Jeremiah Johnson, he has a caravan down the sideline. Touchdown. And that is an answer. 76 yards, one play, touchdown drive. Just like against Oregon State, he had 2 huge runs in the Beavers as they went to Reser Stadium and crushed their arch rivals' dreams.
He had runs of 79 yards and 83 yards in that football game. And the reason why is because the speed and the great job that Oregon does blocking downfield.
Morgan Flint, who was perfect. 7 for 7 field goals, 22 for 22 PATs. He took over for Matt Evenson mid-season. And the Ducks, that's about as quickly and effectively as you can answer after Oklahoma State's impressive drive.
Well, whatever cleats Jeremiah Johnson has on, he's got the right shoes in the bottom. He needs to go consult the rest of his teammates. This is outstanding cutting and great blocking down the field by his teammates. Everybody on Oregon's offense did their job that time.
Jeremiah Johnson thanking his blockers for jobs well done. 76-yard touchdown. Even Massoli, the quarterback number 2, was out there leading the way.
Go ahead, Jesse, as a quarterback. You talk about that.
Well, he's trying to get a look here. He can't find anybody, so he decides to peel back. The problem is he peels back on middle linebacker Hori Lemon, who just drives him. But you love the effort from your quarterback.
There's Mail and Jason Williams also doing their jobs downfield. So the kick is taken by Parrish Cox. Very dangerous return man. A couple of touchdowns this season, and Cox is into Oregon territory. Evenson, the kicker, had to make the stop. 43-yard return.
You know, as a player, you figure out how to make the cuts out there. Massoli and these guys, they're all talking about, hey, what are you doing? You can't cut on your heels. The kick return right there, great kick return because you stayed out over the toes. You know what I'm talking about? Your shoulder pads are out there over the front of your feet. If you get on your heels, you're going to slip on this turf.
The Ducks defenders, Reed in particular, said they were very offended by all the talk of a shootout. Well, this is why there was a lot of talk about it, because it's tough to stop both these offenses. They said nothing was mentioned, but for 3 weeks they've heard the talk, and it was big motivation. But Oregon's, they've had trouble tonight already.
Well, they have, but what I think is interesting is we talked to both teams and their players and their coaching staff and said, what do you think about the other team's offense? Are you worried about that? And they said no, because they remind us of our own offense, what we see in the offseason. So our guys aren't intimidated. We're going to come out and play.
You saw a shot of Reed there, Walter Camp All-American, also an academic All-American, playing his final college game. Needs 2 sacks to equal Jerry Hughes of TCU, and he's got 15 in the season, the national leader. Robinson on play action. Has a man wide open downfield. Breaks it off for Bryant at the 35, but he had a touchdown if he just looked up, because Bo Dowling was completely uncovered downfield.
But one of the challenges for Robinson, now I'm going to try to defend him a little bit here, because it was wide open deep down the field. See that wide open? But Robinson was scrambling, running to the right. Now that's a long throw when you're running to the right.
It's a good example, though, sometimes of quarterbacks locking into a receiver instead of just looking at the defense. He was supposed to go to Des Bryant with that football, but the look the defense gave him was a home run, and he'll have that told to him by Mike Gundy when he goes to the sideline.
Bo Dowling said, hey, Zach, I know I only got 9 catches all year, but I was open, man. I was open.
10.
Robinson, another play action, looking downfield again. This time it is Dowling. And not a wide open touchdown, but a catch down inside the 10. So he doesn't hit him for 6, but goes right back to him, and he was open there too.
And you're seeing the balance in this offense. Because they're able to run the football so well, it sets up the play-action passing game and allows this offense to stretch the football down the field vertically.
But I just don't like Oregon's defense when I watch them on film. When they only rush 4, they get in trouble. It's not like they've got great guys back there making ball hawk steals, you know. They've got to mix it up, bring 5 or 6, or Zac Robinson's telling them right now, fellas, you give me time to throw it, I'm going to find my receiver.
2 tight end look for the Pokes, 1st and goal. They've not been the greatest 1st and goal team. For all these weapons, they're very low touchdown percentage on goal to go. They throw the fade to Bryant. Single coverage over there from Thurman, but it was thrown way outside. Yeah, just 21 touchdowns out of 32 1st and goal situations. Not very good.
And this is one of those games where points are going to count, and not just field goals. When you get down in these situations where you can score in the red zone, you have to capitalize and score touchdowns. With both of these prolific offenses pitted against one another, you want the scoreboard to keep dialing up. You better score touchdowns. If you kick field goals, I don't think it's going to be enough to win this game.
Yeah, and Gundy told us there've been a lot of late nights trying to figure out what to do better down here in these goal-to-go situations. They've kind of addressed the weaknesses and maybe tweak some personnel and some looks tonight. He hinted that might be the case. 2 tight ends. Robinson keeps it, finds a little crease, and ducks down to the 3. So that is a different look. Going to the 2 tight end down in close. Try to get a more power look.
And that's what they're lacking. They don't have that big bruising fullback. Gundy said, you know, we don't have a guy that can get really big and strong up in there, go traditional. And they're lacking that. So they're going to try to tweak a few things here in this football game to see if they can score.
See those signs over there? GM 5603. Pound sign 12.
Some of those symbols are live and some of them are completely not, but all 11 players, including the offensive lineman, have to look back at him.
There's your fullback
right now.
There's your fullback, but he's not a big guy.
No, he motions out. Little option look. Robinson still has it. Now pitches to Hunter, who dives for the pylon. Touchdown. Goal to go, problem solved as they get an option look down there, and 24 just gets it across the goal line.
It was such a great job of patience by Zac Robinson on the option, stretching the defense, holding on to the football until the very last second. You're going to see him reverse pivot and just stretch laterally down the line of scrimmage until he's forced a commitment from Patrick Chung, the safety, the rover, before pitching it out.
Kendall Hunter's 15th rushing touchdown this season. Already the Pokes have 10 plays of 10 or more yards. 3 possessions, field goal, touchdown, touchdown. Lead is once again 10 points. So the Ducks answer with that 1 play touchdown drive, the run from Johnson. We're wondering what it might take to win this game, you know, 40, 45, more?
60 minutes, I know that.
99 yards offense in the first quarter for the Cowboys in those 3 possessions. This is Thurman. Hurdles one man, maintains his feet, and after Thurman dancing out across the 30-yard line.
Jeremiah Massoli, when he started getting it going and making plays with his legs and throwing the ball, and that added threat, the consistency, gave him that edge.
Chris, we saw him yesterday. He looks like a fullback in person. He's got those big, thick ankles.
This is Johnson. That's not a compliment. You say a guy has thick ankles. He runs pretty well for thick ankles.
Yeah, he does.
He's also got a very calm demeanor about him. He's very unflappable. Nothing seems to rattle him. And at the end of the first quarter, Ducks find themselves in a 10-point hole. We expected a shootout. One in the making right here in San Diego. 334 total yards in the first period. Across there.
Yeah, LeGarrette Blount, he's a guy 6'2", 230 pounds. Don't fall asleep defense. He's just almost as good as Jeremiah Johnson.
Solely pressured. Spun out. Able to fire downfield, and it's almost intercepted. So pressure from Ugo Chinasa. Ricky Price was down there too. We didn't expect much of a pass rush from the Pokes tonight. They've gotten one.
No, we didn't. They've been able to get after Jeremiah Massoli all night so far. And it's a great job here at Jeremiah Massoli, just staying alive, not going down. But if you're going to throw this thing away, throw it out of bounds.
Now, it's a good thing that you're a thick quarterback right there. You don't go down. But my guess is he wasn't supposed to leave the pocket to get outside there. The block and the protection was to keep the pocket inside, not outside. Inexperience there.
He shows his strength, avoids the disastrous loss. It sets up a 3rd and 3. They dump it off short, and it's dropped. Terrence Scott would have gotten the first down, couldn't hold on. So the Ducks offense twice misfiring in Oklahoma State territory. Pacific Life game summary, impressive start for Gundy's offense.
How about that right there?
Well, they are the worst offense in the country when it comes to time of possession, usually because they're scoring so quickly. Only on the field for like 25 minutes, and they're going to go for it here. This is not much confidence in your defense, huh? Down 10. Blunt is the back. Massoli keeps it, runs into traffic, and he will not get the first down. So the Cowboys come up big on 4th down. Chinasa and Quinton Moore, the safety, and they'll get good field position.
Wow, it's the Oklahoma State defense right now in this game that's really answering the bell. They're making those critical stops that we thought one of these units would have to make if they were going to get this win.
You know what? In our deal yesterday, they talked about the 8 stops in this game that they wanted to make, and they included 3 and out or a punt. Well, this is a great turnover for them right here. If they can get to 8 of those, quarterback draw not working. This is a smart defense. Tim Beckman's not here. Their DC, he's gone. Looks like they're well prepared.
And the Cowboys were here 20 years ago. They broke every offensive record in a beatdown of Wyoming. It was Sanders, it was Gundy throwing a Hartley, Dykes. And, Gundy has fond memories of that, not just because he went down to Tijuana the week of the game, but because they lit up Wyoming. Sanders played only 3 quarters, and the Heisman Trophy winner that year ran for 222 and 5 touchdowns. Gundy, a quiet 20 of 24 for 315 and 2, 62-14.
Mike Gundy also caught a 17-yard pass and ran for 41 yards. He had the total day, which is why he's in the Pacific Life Holiday Bowl Hall of Fame.
It was 20 years ago tonight. He said it was very special. His folks were here to see him as a player do well that night, here to see him coach tonight. This is Hunter. Lots of traffic and a short loss.
It has nothing to do with his cleats right now. I mean, you talk about trying to find a spot to run the football right now. Hunter can't get any room. There's no daylight out there.
Well, having said, I mean, Kendall Hunter's one of those guys. It takes one carry for him to go off, and it can change already. But you wonder sometimes also, coaches like to go with the hot hand. And if he's not necessarily out there generating production, then all of a sudden Keith Toston maybe will be the guy getting the majority of the carries.
Maybe you can just throw the ball anyway. And they can't stop the pass. So 8 yards needed on this 3rd down.
There's a big tight end out here. That makes it mighty difficult when you got the big man split out in the slot. Hard to bracket and find who to cover there.
Instead, they fire to Bryant. He doesn't have first down yardage. Stopped at the 25 by Jarris Bird. It'll be 4th and about 1.5 yards.
I think he hurt himself too when he slipped on this grass here.
Immediate concern as the trainers run out to check out Bryant. Yeah, he stopped awkwardly, didn't he?
He planted and his feet kept going. And
this is the first time that Oregon brackets Des Bryant, but they do it way off the ball. The ball behind him a little bit, you see.
Oh,
his ankle or his foot looks like it gets caught underneath.
His right foot slipped as he planted, you're right. And then his left was in an awkward position.
Yes.
We hope we haven't seen the last of Des Bryant. That was his 9th catch, 110 yards. But he's helped off, favoring that left ankle. Now on 4th down, folks will go for it. They need to get near the 23-yard line. It's Toston behind the fullback Bryant Ward. Option. Toston. He won't get it. Ducks get a stop, and Nick Reed, the sackmaster, making the play on the edge.
Yeah, it's Nick Reed. He's out there. This is a football team that really needed to step up with the defensive side of it. And Reed, 49, he says a tenacious guy. He showed it there.
A rare stop for the Oregon defense. Bucks will get the ball back. 3:38 before halftime. Oak State up by 10. Massoli? Yeah, it's not even close. Way over the head of Terrence Scott.
It looked like he was trying to throw the ball so hard he forgot about throwing it to his guy.
Well, he was going to the right spot on that play. I don't question necessarily the decision-making of Jeremiah Massoli so far in this first half, but certainly the execution, the accuracy has really been lacking.
We talked about how calm he is, unflappable, but he's showing signs of being pretty keyed up for this game, don't you think?
I think so. Yeah, he's not played to the level I thought he was going to play at.
9 seconds before halftime. Massoli will dump it off short. They do have some timeouts, and Scott takes off. Scott scampers out of bounds with 1 second to go.
Very smart play there. You know, this is a guy, too, that's one of their big play guys, leads the team in receptions. A lot of speed. And the run after the catch that they talked about that he has the ability to do, but very smart getting out of bounds.
Massoli, final play of the half, escapes the sack, and just decides to
Why couldn't we have
trot
done
out
that?
of bounds. Huh? Well, kind of a misleading stat. Oregon, 248 yards of offense in the first half, but only 7 points in the Johnson touchdown run. 17-7 lead for Oklahoma State, and Aaron in the dark down there with Mike Gundy.
Well, Coach, we saw Des Bryant walk off. What's the status of your receiver?
Well, they took him in to x-ray him, and hopefully he'll be okay. I think he got twisted up there a little bit, but, you know, you hate to see anybody get hurt. I think he'll be okay. We'll find out at halftime.
I saw you grab your offense, take them kind of away from him on the training table. If he is out for the second half, what's your plan?
Well, we continue to do what we do. I mean, obviously we have a lot of things that are tied into his ability that we got to cut back on right now. But we have a good football team. We got to run the ball better and then get the ball to the guys that can make plays other than Des.
All right, thank you. Chris?
So a fairly surprisingly low-scoring first half, just 24 points. Oklahoma State a 10-point lead over Oregon. The Flomax halftime report. These two powerful offenses. We did see some fireworks in the first half, but shockingly, a scoreless second quarter. Could have gotten long odds against that coming in. Oklahoma State leading at 17-7. They dominated time of possession. Oregon will get the ball to start this third quarter. Chris Fowler, Craig James, Jesse Palmer, and Aaron Andrews. Kind of a puzzling first half for the Ducks offense. So used to moving down the field and scoring quickly, they were frustrated. This is Walter Thurman trying to create some field position with the opening possession, and he'll do so. Thurman takes off. The kicker to beat. Down inside the 5. Walter Thurman, who had the pick at the end of the half, but was beaten consistently by Des Bryant, takes the second half kickoff back 91 yards.
We talked about this just before halftime, and if you were Mike Bellotti in Oregon, you were thinking, you know what, we played poorly, but we're still in this football game. Guarantee you, Jesse, they went into halftime and said, guys, let's regroup, let's get it going, and a big play like this to come out surely lifts them up.
The best way to start the half, no question about it, create instant field position with your special teams. Walter Thurman, monster return to put these guys in a goal-to-go scenario to make this thing a one-possession game right away.
Also by Johnny Thomas, who finally forced Thurman down at the 3-yard line. It's Jeremiah Johnson shifting now to the left of Massoli on 1st and goal. Johnson picking his way near the goal line, stopped short.
You know, this offense here versus Oklahoma State's red zone scoring offense, they come out and they do the same thing, right? They spread you out and they can still power you inside.
Well, they have that ability, and they have Jeremiah Johnson. They also have the availability of a 230-pound running back like Garrett Blunt, and Jeremiah Massoli can run it himself. Very, very dangerous team when they get down very close to the end zone.
It's almost a lock. At 22 out of 24 touchdowns in this situation. Massoli just hammers across the goal line for a touchdown. So Oregon's 2 scoring drives have been a long one of 1 play and a very short one of 2 plays. And wow, Thurman, you got to hand it to him. It was a rough first half for him until he makes the pick, and now the kickoff return.
Well, it's amazing because I was thinking about how is this Oregon team going to respond coming out of the gates, really. They're used to scoring 42 points a game. They only have 7. Are they dejected? Do they try to reinvent the wheel on the playbook? No, they come out. Great return by Walter Thurman. All of a sudden now we're back in the game.
8th rushing touchdown of the year for Massoli. The conversion does make it a 3-point game. 45 seconds into the 3rd quarter. And the Pokes will get the football back up just 3. Now, the big star for the first half offensively for Oklahoma State, Des Bryant, of course. He had that look. He had that bounce in his step in the warm-up, but he was obviously involved. 3 catches in the opening drive. He went out. It was a knee injury, but the good news is we expected to see him in the second half. The x-rays were negative.
Okay, now this is a dangerous scenario for Mike Gundy in Oklahoma State. Now you've got your football team over there, and they are so used to having Des Bryant on the field playing for them, right? If he comes out and he's not 100%, you know, does that deflate your offense? You know, you've got to have a guy, you've got to have the team step up here.
I think regardless of whether or not Des Bryant comes back and plays in this game, Oklahoma State has to get Kendall Hunter going. He's a guy who's averaging 126 yards a game. He only has 20 yards up to this point. They have to keep him involved regardless of whether or not Des Bryant's presence is back on the perimeter.
Yeah, Hunter averages 6.7 per carry. He's really been held in check, and it hasn't looked all that comfortable. His frustration, I think, is shown.
Yeah.
As he's worn on here.
And if I were his running back coach, I'd say, hey, Kendall, you know what? I know you're frustrated, but you've got to run past some arm tackles. Quit dancing in the backfield. Let's break some tackles first. Let's get some 3 and 4 and 5 yard gains first.
It's a very short kick. Rushing up to take it just at the 20-yard line is Victor Johnson, the true freshman who fights out to the 30-yard line. Aaron, what's the latest on the condition of Mr. Bryant?
Well, Des Bryant, as you mentioned, had x-rays. They were negative. He even had a chance to see an orthopedist back in the training room, Chris, and they said he's fine. He's good to go. He does have a protective sleeve on his knee. Now, it was funny. When Walter Thurman ran that back, Jesse, you had mentioned how Des Bryant runs like he's angry. He was running up and down this sideline like he was ticked off about that. So he's going to try to give it a go and see what can happen, guys.
We'll see if Thurman's winded. He's guarding Bryant here. Number 6 on number 1. It's Robinson rolling to his right. Takes a shot along the sidelines, and that's a catch made over there by Damian Davis, who has had some big games this year, often benefiting from the double coverage that Bryant draws.
You know, I was watching away from the play right there. I was watching Des Bryant to see how he was running. He tried to run a shallow cross. Craig, you're shaking your head because you saw the same thing I did. Not very confident. That was nowhere near full speed.
Play action, and Robinson will throw it downfield on 2nd and short. And along the sidelines, once again, it's Damian Davis. He beat Jarris Bird, so maybe Bryant will just be a decoy. You think?
Absolutely, Fowler. Way to go again. You're on top of it there. Way to go, Vern. You're on it. That's exactly what he is. He's a decoy right here early in this quarter. May not stay the rest of the game there, but definitely drawing that coverage over their opposite side of the field. So Des Bryant says to the secondary coach at Oregon, he goes, you know who I am, coach? And he goes, Des? He goes, yes, I am. I'm your worst nightmare.
That's not Bryant's personality. They put him up to it.
They put him up to it. It was a fun joke. It was a great personality.
He was their worst nightmare. It came true in the first half. Unstoppable. Now we'll see if he is just a decoy or if he can continue to make plays. They fake it to Hunter. Robinson fires over the middle, and it's Bryant making the catch. Down inside the 15.
Single coverage again on Des Bryant, and that time Oregon decided to bring the safety in the box. They were anticipating run. They made that an 8-man front. Des Bryant able to take advantage of that on the outside.
He's dragging the left leg. No question about that. This is a warrior on the football field right now that's, like you said, though, Chris, maybe he starts to gain a little confidence.
Look at the hands. He's got some of the biggest, strongest hands in college football. He kind of caught that on the bottom of the football there.
Call that snow coning the football.
Robinson rolls to his right, throws back to his left, and over through Pettigrew. Had the tight end open.
You know, this is a great design play here. Zac Robinson just got a little pressure on him. Pettigrew, one of those guys, again, just sneaks around, lays low in the weeds. He's very patient with his route running and spreads that Oregon defense out.
Yeah, he's still looking for his first touchdown catch of the season. As good as he is, as big in NFL futures, everybody says he doesn't have a touchdown. It was right there for him.
Well, here's maybe a reason why this ball got overthrown a little bit. He needs to obviously complete that. Nick Reed absolutely leveled Zac Robinson.
Yeah, it should have been a flag there.
Should have been a flag.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
Second and 10. Robinson fires, and it's intercepted. A very poor throw, and Jarris Byrd stepped in front of Bryant and takes it back to the 40. So maybe too much focus on the All-American. Byrd was right there.
Well, and you saw that coming from a mile away. You go back and you watch Des Bryant's body language on this route. He just kind of runs a fade. He's not running full speed. He puts his hands up in the air as if he wanted this to be a jump ball. Zac Robinson has said decides to throw the line drive.
The problem with it here for Des Bryant is on a bad ball or a ball thrown behind him, like we see the stop routes all the time, he doesn't have the legs to stop and go make the adjustment to make the catch right now.
Yeah, Craig, but clearly he wanted a different ball thrown there, right?
I mean, maybe, but if you got to figure out somebody else to go to now. You can't rely on Des Bryant.
They like to rely on Jeremiah Johnson. The Ducks would. Picks up about 7 on first down.
I think what you get into right now if you're Oklahoma State is what is the point of diminishing returns of having a not 100% Des Bryant on the field? If he's 80%, 90%, is that better than having his backup in who can go full speed?
Jesse, he just said there he pointed up. I think you're right, Chris. He was looking for the ball up high in the back of the end zone, not one behind him.
Well, Garrett Blunt is in the ball game, but it's Jeremiah Massoli, physical keeper by the quarterback. Heads for the end zone. We said he was a little bit thick. He'll look up a DB and blow him up, and that was Quentin Moore who just got destroyed in the secondary.
Mike Bellotti said that right now Jeremiah Massoli understands how to run the read option as well as Dennis Dixon did after 3 years. Bring it to the house.
He didn't even try to run around him. He actually hunted up Quentin Moore, ran right over him at 5'10", 215, that low center of gravity, ran him right over.
And the Ducks take their first lead of the night. Flint adds the conversion. Oregon, sparked by that second half kickoff return, has taken momentum in this game.
It's the Holiday Bowl. What do you expect?
No, they didn't expect this in the secondary of Oklahoma State, getting run over by the quarterback. Welcome back to the Pacific Life Holiday Bowl. Jeremiah Massoli has given Oregon its first lead, and congratulations from head coach Mike Bellotti. A big smile from the quarterback, who's really struggled as a passer tonight, but that play will spark a team. Here's the short pooch kickoff. It's fielded. The 37-yard line, very short return by Donald Booker. All right, now we'll see how the expression changes in the faces of the Cowboys. This is a new experience down in this ball game for the first time. It's Robinson taking off. He's stopped in a shoestring tackle, and a very good one there by Tukuafu.
Don't you like
that? Might have
that?
been a bigger gain.
Well, you wonder right now, I wonder right now, if Oregon defensively is smelling blood. You got an All-American wide receiver in Des Bryant, not 100%. All-American running back in Kendall Hunter, who has not had his presence felt in this game yet, and you're starting to rattle Zac Robinson with some big hits.
I like the fact that they come out and he runs the football.
Yeah.
Show him I'm not giving up. I'm not in the tank. No white flag here.
And they fire far side. This is Bryant. He gets a block and gets the first down, and that'll be the Holiday Bowl record for receptions. Bryant, who had 9 in the first half, matching the record held by Roy Williams of Texas and David Mills of BYU.
Completely admire Zac Robinson for sucking it up and not letting the big hits affect him, getting the ball out to Bryant. And how about Des Bryant being a warrior in this game?
And staying in the game. Absolutely, absolutely. Damian Davis doing a nice job on the perimeter on that screen, going to the second level, knocking the defender down.
This time they fake the option, drops back to throw, and has a man wide open. Damian Davis down inside the 5. Little wrinkle there.
A great design play. This looks just like the freeze option they've been running all game so long.
You know what, on the outside, watch the patient on the left side of your screen. You can't see the receiver, how patient the receiver was. He breaks down like he's going to block, and then up the field. Excellent execution and patience.
We talked about one player having to take over the load for Des Bryant. I think it's been Damian Davis so far in the second half.
3 catches for 66 yards, the other wide receiver on this team. First and goal, Hunter's in the game. And he's got it. Stand-up touchdown for Kendall Hunter, and the Cowboys retake the lead. Answer for the answer.
Mike Gundy said he had to work on his short yardage goal line offense. Let's see if they've got angles. There's an angle right there. Let's see what happens here. They were going to call plays designed to give blocking angles, great execution, and the time off that they worked on with it works.
Just a great answer by Oklahoma State there. After Jeremiah Massoli runs over a defender, sparks momentum for his football team, Oklahoma State comes back out and answers right away.
Yeah, within 3 minutes, they regain the lead. It's been a frustrating night at times for Hunter. Only averaging 2.7 on his 10 carries, but he does have a pair of touchdowns. So the Ducks have been playing from behind all night. They had the brief lead. Now down by 3 again as Thurman, who had the big kick return to start this half, takes off again, loses the football. Hurdled a man, then dropped the ball, and a big pile up at the 35. There is some fighting going on at the bottom of it. Oregon gets it back. And that is a huge break for the Ducks, because Thurman thank Dewitt Stuckey for coming up with the football.
All week long I've said that I felt like I was covering a regular season big game. The intensity was there. You've seen it in their practice and everything else. I'm now seeing a notch come up again.
You see that his knee came up and knocked the ball out.
It was an unbelievable hurdle move, but his right knee actually pokes the football out. You see, he doesn't have the football tucked away. It's dangling out loose, and his knee actually was what caused that fumble.
How do you protect against that? Watch your right knee.
Just tuck the football away.
This is Johnson. Stiff arm as he's forced out after about 7.
This is that point in the game where you say it's getting a little bit wacky, but if you're on defense, you have to remind yourself that you're going against option offenses right now, and you must maintain discipline. We've seen Jeremiah Johnson in that first quarter take off and go a long ways.
Hurry up for the Ducks, and it's Massoli firing in the sidelines. It's Scott, pushed out inside the 45.
We just talked about Oklahoma State, how great their tempo was in terms of getting up to the line of scrimmage and get going. Right there you see Oregon doing the same thing. Oklahoma State kind of just lingering around, not keeping their head in, and Oregon coming up, snapping the ball and going.
Some Oregon players were telling us yesterday, you know, the perception is out there that the Pac-10 is soft and the Big 12 is slow. So kind of expected Oregon to test to see if Oak State could keep up with them in speed.
Johnson, stutter steps, gets away. And he's spun down after about 6 by Quentin Moore.
That was a heck of a play.
That's the perception of the fans out there?
I think the players. I think the players were looking at it as that people around talk about us being soft in the Pac-10 and slow in the Big 12.
Massoli fires wide open. Has the tight end Dixon. And inside the 20.
That's the exact same play that Jeremiah Massoli just completed a pass to Terrence Scott 2 plays ago. You see better patience now, looking over the middle of the field, getting through his progression.
And you saw the tight end Dixon that time. He wasn't lined up tight. He was in a slot out wide right, so moving him around. Chip Kelly making some adjustments, other options down the field for his quarterback.
Massoli takes off and scores. He doesn't let mistakes bother him. The backward pass that results in the fumble shakes it off. His second touchdown run of the night, and the Ducks regain the lead.
Talked about the discipline required late in a football game. Watch backside. Watch what happens with your defensive end. Backside, this is what's being read by the quarterback. Total collapse. Pull the ball and go.
And I'm going to short him. That's a hat trick. His 3rd rushing touchdown in this quarter. And the Ducks They're down, giving up that fumble. Looked like they might be going into a bigger hole. That defense, I think, sparked him. The great stand, gets the ball back, and Massoli, third rushing touchdown tonight. This is what we thought we might get. He had 28 points in this quarter after only 24 in the first half. 21 seconds to play in this period. And Chip Kelly was saying, you know, Mike Bellotti giving him, get him out of there. One game earlier this season, Massoli wasn't playing well, and he lit him up. Dropped a few bombs on their phones and said, well, you got one more series and you're out of here. Massoli would not have scored. And they said, next time on the phone, what was that, Coach? Is that all right?
Is that good enough for him? Is that okay?
Victor Johnson on the return is stopped short of the 25-yard line. This is Hunter trying to create his first big run of the night. Rips off 9 there, which should be the last play of the third quarter. Defenses have had their moments. There have been some offensive miscues, but with 15 minutes to play, the offenses have found their rhythm. It's a 4-point game. The Pacific Life Holiday Bowl, 15 minutes to play. Should be a good one. The home of Shamu.
If I keep eating like I have been, I'm going to be one of those.
Some of the players had a good time out there. Jeremiah Johnson, there's no way I'm getting near a killer whale, a sea lion, none of that stuff. He
doesn't trust him, huh?
He did get to pet a cheetah at the zoo, he told me, which is a highlight. Robinson over the middle, it's Bryant. Dennis Bryant darts down inside the 40. Even with a bum wheel, he's still dangerous.
Great anticipation by Zac Robinson here on this throw. He throws the football before Des Bryant even turns around to see where the ball's coming from.
And he's on the field. Bryant gripping that left knee, which was the problem in the first half.
Been there, done that. Understand that feeling right now. You start to feel like you're really okay, and you make that dramatic cut. You don't protect your leg, and all of a sudden that inside of that knee just collapses. Right now, running really, I think, Jesse, about as well as we've seen him run in the second half.
Yeah, just watching that though, still seemed like it wasn't 100% even running down, but you see he knows it as he's being brought down here. Right here, he knows it.
He had 31 yards on that play. His 13th catch again. He's got the Holiday Bowl record for receptions in a game, and that may be his final one. Here's how it happened earlier in the game. The awkward stop. He loses footing on his right foot, but watch the left knee.
Yeah, I think, and that capsule, as they talk about, on the left knee opens up pretty good. You see that? And you know, terrible turf out here.
Here's the backwards pass. Bo Dowling throws it back to Robinson, who's got all kinds of room. Stopped at the 15. He ran right into Thurman, but the trick play works.
You know what? How about Mike Gundy, though? This guy here coming up with a play that he loses Des Bryant, comes out. Watch the total collapse of Oregon's defense. Look at everybody move to the right side of your screen.
Well, and it's a nice job throwing the perfect lateral, gives his receiver a catchable ball so he can get it back to him early, and then it's just the athleticism of Zac Robinson as he gets upended at the end of that play.
Walter Thurman with a great play in open space to keep from the touchdown.
He had so many blockers out there, it looked like he was headed for the end zone. Thurman stepped up, stopped him at the 14. They fake the reverse, flip it off to Hunter. He tries to cut back, and he stopped after about a 7-yard gain. So Robinson has 315 passing, 41 rushing, and 21 receiving. Pretty good night.
Pretty good night. All of a sudden, you know, this game started off offensive showcase, gets into a little bit of a depression, a defensive depression. And now here we are all of a sudden coming out of that bad economy. Offense is back on both sides of the football.
And one of the guys who stepped up and his stock's risen in the second half has been Kendall Hunter. We didn't see Hunter in the first half. Now he's starting to make some plays for his stockbroker.
See Patrick Chung, one of the defensive leaders, out of the ball game as the Cowboys go to a 2 tight end set. It's Pettigrew on the left of the formation. 1 second down. Hunter hammers inside the 5. It'll be 1st and goal.
Very impressed with Oklahoma State. We talked about how they had a lot of problems coming into this game in goal-to-go situations running the football, but they've been very, very physical tonight running in this part of the field, Craig.
Absolutely. You know, Mike Gundy was trying to figure out a way that he could get creative with his blocking.
I believe this, Des Bryant limping back in the ball game on 1st and goal.
He's got man coverage outside.
Keeper by Robinson to the one. Pretty safe to say he's just a decoy out there.
Yeah, I would be absolutely shocked. If they give him a jump ball fade right now, I would be absolutely shocked. I think Jerry's Bird right now is looking at him thinking, you're really not out here running a route, are you?
Yeah, I would. Hey, would you go to sleep on him?
No.
I wouldn't either. Right now they're looking for their angles right now. They're trying to figure out which way to go. Check with me. He's going to make a call to give himself the best blocking angles up front.
2nd and goal on Skycam, and you see Robinson lunging for the goal line. No signal. Touchdown. So the late signal. Robinson able to keep it, get across, and the Pokes retake the lead.
It's a boxing match right now. Both offenses slugging away. You see Jeremiah Massoli running touchdowns in, 3 in the 3rd quarter, runs another one in. Oklahoma State and Zac Robinson answer right away in the passing game and then pound it down and close.
Very impressive. An Oklahoma State team that was poor in the goal-to-goal situation. They're getting it done. They can't come away with 3s. They got to get 6s here.
Yeah, that was a pretty good looking 75-yard drive in 7 plays. Now it's got the feel like last team with the ball wins, right? This is kind of what
it was supposed to be.
This is what we anticipated coming into this game, right?
And by the way, Zac Robinson has just surpassed his head coach for the all-time career record for total offense. He's got him by 13 yards. Coach Gundy just fine with that. At stake here tonight, besides the Pacific Life Holiday Bowl trophy, a 10-win season for the winner, which is a heck of an accomplishment. Oklahoma State thought to be a year away from excellence when the season began. Nobody really looked at Oregon as a 10-win team. This is Thurman. He stopped just across the 20. And some of the best kickoff coverage tonight by the Cowboys. Victor Johnson made the tackle. This is more of a conventional option, and a keeper by Massoli. And he just, no fumble. He's ruled down across the 35. And it's Massoli who's done most of the damage since. He's 8 yards short of a 100-yard game.
Max Unger was one of our impact players.
You know what's amazing about him? 27 of his career starts were at left tackle. He's an unbelievable athlete playing center.
It's unbelievable. Nobody offered him a scholarship at a high school except for Oregon. Jason Williams on the catch, breaking free. Down the sideline to the 20-yard line. First impact play for the big physical receiver.
You see the speed. He ran a 10.6800 in high school, and you see those long strides going down the sidelines as they get that jailbreak receiver screen.
Oh, man, Max Unger, 60 again. Look at him on the left side, down the field. Clearing block with his legs.
The leg whip. Where was the call?
But you know what? Max Unger down the field takes a lot of energy, hurts himself. That's why you don't want a leg whip.
Max Unger, the center, is on the sidelines. Jeff Kendall, the senior, is his backup. And an errant snap in the shotgun right away. Massoli, a good job to corral that snap. It's no game, but it could have been disastrous. Right off the bat, Kendall into the game, and it's a factor.
It's such a big loss losing Max Unger, not only because he's a 2-time first-team All-Pac-10 player, not only because he pulls and he's effective in the running game, it's the little things like just executing the simple shotgun snap.
One of the things, though, that you can depend on here is Kendall is a 3-year starter heading into this season. He's played every position up there. He's a versatile guy. He's been there, done that. He's just got to settle in.
Yeah, your center coming in cold. It's a different thing in a shotgun offense, isn't it? Good snap this time. Massoli looking for the end zone. Has a man. Touchdown. Williams. Terrific throw to a 6'5" target, and the Ducks regain the lead.
There were 2 options open for touchdowns. Jeffrey Mail in the inside, and on the outside, Jason Williams. But this offensive line hung in there, made the adjustment. Look at the outside here.
Well, you see Jacob Lacey playing cornerback. He's just sinking. It's a cover 2 look. He thinks he has help, but almost looked as though maybe he was trying to bait Jeremiah Massoli into that throw. Massoli makes them pay.
Massoli adding his first touchdown pass to 3 touchdown runs. And we've got a seesaw game in San Diego. 35-31. Next up, Robinson and the Pokes offense turn to try to answer. Kick is Parrish Cox. And he's pushed back at the 25-yard line. There's been extra inspiration for Oregon all season, in particular here in San Diego, which is the hometown of Todd Doxey. He would have been a sophomore defensive back on this year's Oregon team, but tragically he drowned in a river near the Oregon campus in July, short of his 20th birthday. He wore number 29, and all throughout the season, the Oregon home games, his buddies, most of them defensive backs except for Mail, the receiver, have rotated the honor of wearing Doxey's number 29. And they've had contact with the Doxey family here in San Diego this week. Talmadge Jackson, who's a backup corner wearing number 29 tonight, he presented a helmet to Doxey's grandmother at the luncheon the other day. Just a moving moment, and all season long they've kept number 29, in their hearts, especially here in his hometown of San Diego. Second and 10. There's Bryant not out there. Maybe it's finally enough with the knee tonight. Robinson pressured, trying to get away, sacked. Cole Linehan had the quick pressure. Tukuafu cleaned it up. Aaron?
Chris, just to add more about Todd Doxey, obviously talking to Coach Mike Bellotti and the Oregon players, just mentioning how this whole thing has come full circle. They've been playing in his honor all season long, and to be here tonight to play in his hometown, also his grandmother that you mentioned, nice gesture by her, handed over $2,000 to head coach Mike Bellotti that people had been raising, gave to the family. She said, here, take this in his memory, do what you would like with it. Coach Bellotti says he's going to think about what to do with it, but obviously put it towards good use.
So that was a real taste of immortality, a life lesson for his team. There's the high throw by Robinson. So Oregon's defense comes up with a big stop. The sack by Tukuafu, forcing the third and long. Tukuafu again pressuring. And here comes a punt. And the first series where he really wasn't able to get out there at all, and not a very impressive one for the Pokes. There's the punt taken. Falling to his knees was Bird. So Oregon will take over, now protecting a 4-point lead with 9:23 to play. This is Massoli, keeps it. Navigates through traffic for about 7. Here's some of that punishment, Jesse, you talked about.
Yeah, and as a quarterback, big hits, you can shake them off, you can get back up and play the next play, but I guarantee these stay with you. It doesn't matter at what point in the game they happen, you'll carry them with you until the final whistle blows. He's been very, very gutsy. He stayed in the pocket, but he has taken some monster
Does it stay
shots.
with you mentally or physically more?
Both, but I would argue mentally for a lot of quarterbacks. Hanging in the pocket in those slow developing plays, you think twice sometimes. Your vision comes down, starts looking at pressure.
Well, that's where leadership on your team comes in, though. Somebody has to go over and pick him up and make a play physically and emotionally work with him.
Massoli, he's stopped in the backfield, could not spin away from Swanson, Miller, and Levine.
They were going to throw that ball back across the field.
Well,
this here was set up nicely.
Well, did you see LeGarrette Blount coming back there? He had his hands up in the air. I'm not so sure LeGarrette Blount thought that Jeremiah Massoli should have pulled that football.
Well, and you know what else? I'm sitting here watching that play as well, and you talk about Jeremiah Massoli being young, trying to make things happen, not managing the game he should.
Pokes spend a timeout. 3rd and 6 coming up when you come back.
I tell you what you want to do is you want to make sure you stay outside, a nice gap responsibility here, because Jeremiah Massoli will definitely pull it and run it and hurt you like he's been doing the second half with the option.
Yeah, big play here. 3rd and 6. Ducks not in field goal range. Can the Pokes get him off the field? Keeper. 1st down. Pretty simple. You could see it coming, but they couldn't stop it.
It's a great play call by Oregon. Chip Kelly offensively anticipating two-man coverage on defense from Oklahoma State. Again, it's man-to-man. Watch all these defenders with their backs turned to Jeremiah Massoli. They have no idea where the football is, and that's why he's able to run and get north.
Oklahoma State had spent the timeout in that series, so it becomes even more crucial. They can bleed it down to just about the 3-minute mark before snapping this first down play.
It amazes me that you understand Oklahoma State does the #1 play of what their offense is and what they do best, and you still can't stop it.
This is Blunt. LeGarrette Blunt into the secondary. Hurdles a man. Muscles his way to the end zone. He waited a long time to make an impact in this game, but the big 230-pound junior college transfers take it over in the fourth quarter.
That time they made Massoli give him the football. They probably wish they had him.
That was an athletic play for 230, man.
It's amazing to watch him. We've seen him do it twice now on long runs. He's such a good runner for a big guy when he gets in the open field.
And it's going to be his team in terms of the tailback position next season. Johnson, a senior. LeBlanc has another year here if he chooses to stay. You'd assume he would, and he needs to learn how to practice better, but he's a big-time game player, isn't he?
He'll be good, LeGarrette Blunt will be, as long as Jeremiah Massoli is running the option like he is. It puts so much pressure on the defense. We've seen it time and time again where he gives it and fakes it and takes the ball. Look at the vision, getting down the hill, and the blocking. And then you got 230 pounds pushing.
You know what? He ran right over, turtled over Quentin Moore. The guy had gotten flattened by Massoli.
I swear these big running backs are conscious about that. You look at guys like Beanie Wells and LeGarrette Blunt. They know when they get into the secondary, all those DBs are going to be submarining and going low. How many times this year have we seen Beanie Wells hurdle guys? They can do it when they're that big.
A lot of guys
Nobody
hurdling.
in the second.
Moreno's done
Absolutely.
it.
Brandon Jacobs does it in the NFL. No one wants to tackle these guys low.
All right, we're giving a lot of praise here to Oregon's offense, and they're earning it, but the real praise should go to Oregon's defense. The last 3 quarters, 8 stops in 10 possessions. This Oregon defense stepped up today. Nick Aliotti, he had a game plan and a way to go out and slow down and stop Oklahoma State.
Yeah, the Pokes had almost 200 yards in the first quarter. Since then, much more effective job of the Oregon defense.
When you say stop them, they have 452 yards and 31 points.
And Bryant's injury certainly was a big part of that.
That's the way the game's changed.
This is Victor Johnson, and the freshman out across the 25. So an 11-point deficit now with 2:56 to play.
Boy, I tell you what, when you look at Massoli and his 16 for 106, the last 6 games he's averaged 90 yards a game on the ground and 250 passing. Jeremiah Johnson got most of his carry and yards on his first run.
Well, how about this now? They run for 385 yards against Oregon State. They get another big day today. LeGarrette Blunt now over 1,000 yards. It's the second time in Oregon history now they've had a tandem 1,000-yard backs since it happened with Maurice Morris and Ontario Smith.
And Jeremiah Massoli, the quarterback, breaks the rushing record for the quarterback at Oregon.
Unbelievable.
Des Bryant down here at the bottom of the formation has talked his way back on the field. That's a very low throw from Robinson. He's looked off lately.
But you see, you can tell by his body language, he's not 100% physically there. He's got his left hand on his lower left back. You know it's sore, it's aching, and it affects the way you play, mentally and physically.
Okay. You wonder, I mean, Bryant wasn't able to get his coaches to put it back in there in the previous series, which is much more crucial than this one.
I know he wants to, but he doesn't have it. He doesn't have his legs. You can't play the game without your legs.
Pettigrew makes the catch in a short gain. And clock ticking inside of 2:45 now.
In this part of what you talk about, Mike Gundy saying the future's bright for us. We're a young football team. He doesn't have anybody else right now really ready to step up.
Well, he said depth right now is a big problem on the team. He thinks that the 22 positions, 14 of them, he has a true 2 deep. They got to build more depth. They'll do that with recruiting. They'll recruit well again, but this is a team without question to look out for next year in the Big 12.
Well, that guy's back. Hunter's back. Robinson's back. There's an option look, but Robinson will be stopped short of the first down as a flag comes in.
Presby, the face mask, 88 defense, 15 yards from the end of the run, automatic first down.
And remember, you know, 11,
bucket ready here.
Yeah, 11 points down, a little over 2 minutes. This Oklahoma State offense coming into the game, 26 times they scored in less than 2 minutes. I'd be careful about that bucket right now.
Absolutely.
I'd leave it alone. I wouldn't revisit Kentucky LSU.
This time Robinson keeps it on the option again. You know, Mike Bellotti trying to close out his 4th 10-win season. There'd never been a 10-win season in the history of Oregon's program until Bellotti got there. He's the dean of Pac-10 coaches, and in the time that he's been a head coach there, since '95, you guys realize that there have been 4 head coaches at UCLA, Washington, Stanford, Arizona, 3 head coaches at SC, Cal, Arizona State, Oregon State, and Wazoo.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah. Robinson throws deep downfield, underthrown and almost intercepted by Thurman. He's trying to get it to Neal.
Well, you know what I like and respect about Mike Bellotti? He's done it over a period of time. He's done it the right way. He's changed with times. He replaced Gary Croton 2 years ago with Chip Kelly, and I thought, oh boy, this offense is going to struggle for a while, but he picked the right guy.
Yeah, but at least 3 head coaches for every other program in this conference. Bellotti has said perhaps 1 more year, perhaps 2, not longer than 3 before he moves to the athletic director position and Chip Kelly takes over. Now they can begin to get the bucket ready, you think?
Well, and to finish off on that deal, Bellotti's even telling recruits now, I might not be the head coach at the end of your time, but I'll still be around as the athletic director.
Yeah, they dump it off the toast, and he's dumped for no gain. AC Matthews, Patrick Chung combining. Where you give up 31, as you said, close to 500 yards, and you can still feel great about your defensive effort.
Isn't that incredible? I mean, but it's true, though. I mean, you play these spread offenses, these prolific offenses, that's the mindset you have. You come in, you know they're going to score points.
It's a deep ball over the head once again of the receiver.
And I thought it was a real good matchup here tonight. You had the number 2 Pac-10 team out here. You had the somewhere in the number 4 range, maybe, out of the Big 12.
Yeah.
Right? And there was the Pac-10. You could sense those players over, couldn't you? That there was a little pride on the line for them.
Well, I think both teams were hungry and wanted to be here and wanted to win this football game. You see now the guys getting it ready. They wait till 4th and 10. It's a smart move.
They better wait and make sure they get him off the field right here.
Yeah. Takes only 1, believe me. This Oklahoma State offense, they can score quick.
Robinson just chucks it downfield. Bryant pulled up lame on that route. He was well covered anyway. Now you can get the bucket ready for Coach Bellotti. Oregon will get that 10-win season. And he will get wet.
You know what I like about what Mike Bellotti told us? He said this game was the conclusion to the 2008 season. He says a lot of coaches talk about the bowl game being the first game of next year.
Yep.
He says those are usually coaches that are trying to change something. There's nothing to change here at Oregon. They got a great thing going on. I really like that attitude from Mike Bellotti.
I reflect back to last November. We're doing their game at Arizona. And Mike Bellotti had a football team about to put it on Arizona. Dennis Dixon got hurt, right?
Yeah.
Their quarterback, or they'd have won that game. They were number 2 in the country. They had a chance. They were right there to play for the national championship. He's rebuilt, regrouped. He's got 10 wins.
Pretty good start to the bowl season for the Pac-10. They'll go to 3-0. And Mike Bellotti does secure the 10-win season. 20 years after he walked off a winner as a player in the Holiday Bowl, Mike Gundy will come up short tonight. Now we got 73 points out of this game, but I think the defense made a bigger impact than we expected, especially the defense in the black uniforms.
I go back to Nick Aliotti, the defensive coordinator at Oregon, and how well they played and how he was able to make stops. I know they gave up a lot of yards, but when you stop 8 out of 10 possessions in the last 3 quarters, that's doing your job.
When the game's on the line, and it helped that Des Bryant was nicked up and wasn't 100% either. At the same time, give Oregon credit because they went out, they forced the turnovers, and forced crucial stops at the most critical juncture of this football game.
Yeah, that's 5 second-half touchdowns for the Ducks after being held to just 7 points in the first half. They rushed for 307 yards tonight. It was a three-headed monster rushing attack, and as the smoke from the pyrotechnics wafts across the field, a really satisfying end to 2008 for Oregon. Meantime, Aaron's with Coach Pilati.
All right, Chris, thank you so much. And Coach Pilati, joined by his family, very emotional. Coach, you are as well. I have to ask, what's going through your mind right now?
Just really proud of our kids. Awesome. Going to miss our seniors. Got a great staff and a great group of people, and that's nice to win out for them.
Absolutely. You know, you told us as we were preparing for this game, it's going to come down to a big defensive stop. And when I talked to you coming out, you know, into the second half, you said, hey, we just got to settle down and focus. What changed for you guys in the second half?
Well, we got some big plays. The kickoff return on the very first play obviously got us back in the game, settled the score. We got some stops on defense, which was really important, and we took some time off the clock offensively. We actually matched them score for score once we got ahead.
And Zac Robinson just didn't look the same after you guys were able to get to him and hit him so much. Why were you able to get the pressure you were able to?
Well, we got him when he got outside the pocket on that one option play and laid a pretty good lick on him. He didn't have his great receiver to go to it, but I think, again, the pressure, we found ways, I think, give Nick Aliotti and his defense credit. They came through.
Jeremiah Massoli, I mean, you were just going on and on about him. This guy had no experience, and he comes right out in the second half, leads you all the way down in the end zone. I mean, what can you say about him?
Well, we talked about we recruited him because we thought he was a great passer. We didn't know how great a runner he is, and he's a tough son of a gun. He's faster than people think, and he's stronger and more difficult to take down, and he ran over, around, and through people today.
Finally, we know that this was a very emotional game for your players, yourself, the family of Todd Doxey. What would you like to say about that?
Well, we talked about being here to start the season with a funeral and being here at the end, hopefully to honor his memory in the best way we could, which was to play well and win the football game. And I think we did it for Todd, and Todd is here with us today.
Enjoy this with your family, Coach. Thank you.
Thank you.
Heartfelt, good man, good staff. Had a great season with you guys. Enjoyed it.
It was a blast.
Yeah.
We thank Phil Dean, Mike Schwab in the truck, Marty Aronoff, our spotter Mike Black, who's off to the Music City Bowl. Yeah, it was a shootout. It was a lot of fun. Oregon wins it. SportsCenter's up next. We're over on ESPN News for post-game extra. It's been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports, for our entire crew here in San Diego. So long from the Pacific Life Holiday Bowl, and good night from now from San Diego.